Our next speaker comes to us from right across the Greenway, from the North Carolina Museum of Art, where she is the director of teen and college programs. And what that means is that she develops and teaches courses online to our teenagers, local teenagers, and those from other places, in ways to increase, through the arts, their understanding of the world around them, which is really cool. She is a graduate of Peace College and then went on to get her master's in education from East Carolina. She taught middle school and high school for several years before this position was developed for her at the museum. So help me welcome Michelle Harrell.
Thank you. Thank you. And it's an honor to be here. I wasn't quite sure with the weather if I was going to make it or not, but it's an honor to be part of this discussion about sustainability. And one issue that I feel is an obstacle in creating a sustainable future is illiteracy. Every advancement in every age has required for knowledge, for us to learn about what's in our food or the effects of not recycling or recycling our plastic bags has required for more than just a literate few to hold all of that knowledge. We have to share that. And really, for our society now, being literate means being visually literate. I mean, think about it. We are bombarded with more images on a daily basis in one day than someone living in colonial America would have seen in an entire lifetime. We're too busy to pick out all the meaning and messages that are being thrown our way. If you notice the movie reference in the very beginning slide, I'm a big Matrix buff. Keanu Reeves in the 90s, but also the entire idea of a paradigm shift of wool being over our eyes, that not knowing the truth. This quote when Morpheus was explaining the Matrix is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. So let's see how much of the truth that you really see, how visually literate we really are. McDonald's. My two boys recognized what this image meant well before they could say their own names or walk. 2 points with this particular image. First of all, color. So much research has been done about the psychological effects of color on human behavior. There's no coincidence that this is red. Food packaging, interior decorating, advertising, of course. Red triggers appetite. It triggers hunger. Second point in that how little of the type needs to be there for us to be able to read McDonald's. You know, closure. It could have been dotted and your eyes are going to close it. How little information has to be there for us to be able to see a face or read a word. And to illustrate that, I wanted to show another logo and discuss a perceptual set. The idea of the perceptual set is the tendency to see something and ignore another bit of information. Sort of like the magician, that I'm doing something over here, but the real hand has got the trick over here. Like negative and positive space, when you're seeing the faces facing each other and you don't notice the white base that's in the middle, those magic pictures that have hidden messages. Well, artists know how to use these ideas to embed signs, symbols, ideas that you're seeing without understanding that you're seeing. You're seeing a very subliminal message. So what's the hidden sign within the FedEx logo that helps you associate fast delivery with it? That arrow in the middle, right here between the E and the X. So whether you have recognized that before, it's always been there. Images persuade us. They're powerful. They make us think. They make us buy. They even help us vote. This past election year was just completely overwhelming with the amount of images. I had to turn my TV off. I couldn't take it anymore. And these particular two images were actually from Obama's first election. such similar pictures of the same man, but having such different meaning in the way they convey ideas. Psychological connections with, color and hope and dreams, as well as like some cultural associations. Perhaps you may relate red and black with socialism and communism and those ideas that those messages embed. Social propaganda has been used throughout history to convince people. These are not new ideas. All right, so a favorite part of the Matrix movie was when Neo wakes up and he's sitting on the surgical table and he asks Morpheus, "Why do my eyes hurt?" And Morpheus replies, "You've never used them before." I've spent my career trying to wake up young adults, help them see the world around them, and in turn see themselves in a different light. Part of my position at the museum as coordinator of teen and college programs is to manage a grant to create online courses for high school students across North Carolina. And we use these works of art as catalysts for learning other ideas. So we decode these images to learn ideas like game design, videography, photography, and some of the ideas that I just shared with you were in a course called Art of Persuasion, where they learn about advertising and marketing. They're calling this Generation M square. Have you heard that term? M square is media multitaskers. So not only are they absorbing more images than ever before, but they're texting, gaming, and listening to music while doing it. I mean, they're too busy to pick up on all the images that are coming their way. So what do? Well, we get them to stop, look. Don't just see, but look closely at these images. We put works of art in ways that they sort of are uncovering them as they go through the course. They are examining a closer zoomed up image, video and multimedia that makes them really see details that they might not have seen when first looking at that work of art. Dig deeper. I often say, when you're going to a work of art, create wonder. Don't just go to the label and read all about the work, but, guess who did the work. Who do you think the artist was? What do you think the title was? And I bet that if you come up with the name of an artist that was different than who actually did it, find out why. Maybe they were contemporaries at the same time. Maybe one influenced the other. It's so easy now with our smartphones just to find, quick search, hey Siri, and find out so much more historical context and artist intent than we've ever been able to do before. And finally, with these courses being synchronous, that live discussion, live chats, being able to construct your ideas and share them with a friend, not only is it helping you form your ideas as you're sort of decoding images, but the perspective that you get from someone else sharing that is really going to change your understanding. Just like when you go to a gallery with a friend, it's a completely different experience than when you go by yourself. And great art is not just meant to be visited, but to be revisited. Each time that you come back and encounter a work of art, you're unlocking more and more about the piece. It's because of you. You change, and your understanding changes. Every new experience that you have brings a new understanding. So we're using these strategies in our online courses to really help students develop these visual literacy skills. But what about you? So how can you sharpen your own visual literacy? Well, fortunately, our campuses are adjacent and linked by a greenway trail. How many of you bike or walk through the trails? If you're like some of these bikers that we met in the fall, you may not have even noticed amongst the big monumental works of art in the museum park, we also have these billboards that change about every 6 months. And this was in the fall when we featured college students' work. In fact, Cindy Cohan, one of your Meredith colleagues, was one of the students that we featured. We're actually accepting work for the next college exhibition in the park for next fall. But these bikers said, you know what? I ride through this trail every day, and I've never stopped and looked closely at these works. And the benefit of being able to have the artist right here to actually find out where in Raleigh did you take this picture, and what did you use in Photoshop to get these images, and why did you do that? And talking with each other brought a different understanding of this work. Just like every time they ride through this park and they see these images, they're going to unlock and learn a little bit more about it each time. So I invite you to come to the park and see what's currently there in our Park Pictures series. It's an artist that graduated a couple of years ago from UNC Chapel Hill named Lydia Ann McCarthy. And stop. Take your water break out of not recycled water bottles, but you bring your own water. And really check out everything about this work. Dig deeper. If you follow some of our social media outlets, we're going to be sharing some artist videos. This is the artist here, and we'll be talking about why she made certain choices she did. The books, and what those books represented for her, and how this was inspired from a trip that she had been to, and the connections that she made with artists, hundreds of years ago. Share with a friend, tweet about it, share it with Facebook. Photography is like a common denominator. So many people are photographers that they're going to connect with these works on a very different level. It'll be a great conversation to have. And then finally, rinse and repeat. Go back, look at these works again, because as you have new experiences, you're going to come back to these works of art in different ways. And as the seasons change, they're going to seem different in every different lighting setting and everything else. And finally, I leave you with one last quote from The Matrix that sort of summarizes my entire educational philosophy. Morpheus says, "I'm trying to free your mind, Neo, but I can only show you the door. You're the one that has to walk through it." I believe that when we are equipped with the ability to decode images, we're better able to read our world and communicate with it. Only through visual literacy can we decode our world. Thank you so much.